Alright students, so this is more of a reference video to go along with the installation instructions if you upgraded from WSL1 to WSL2. Now let's make sure that we're running WSL2 before we do anything else. So if we go in here in our command prompt, just a gentle reminder, always run this command prompt in administrator mode. Alright, so if I have WSL version, I have the following. So WSL version 2.240, kernel version, so on and so forth. This is what I'm looking for, 2.2 something. As long as above 2.0, we are golden. So that's it. Our WSL is version 2, and we are ready to install the rest of the tools. Well, not quite. Chances are, if you installed from, upgraded from version 1 to version 2, the Linux distribution, probably Ubuntu, could be something different, but probably Ubuntu, is a little older than what we're using right now. And as mentioned in the directions, instructions, we are targeting a specific Ubuntu version 22.04, just because it's the most recent one that is compatible with all the tools that we will use for the course. So I have a little scenario here where my distribution is older, and what would I do to upgrade it, and how would I upgrade? So let's see. I'll make this bigger, clear this, and if I type in WSL-L-V, I have version 2, which is good. I'm on version 2 of WSL, but I have Ubuntu 18.04, which works. However, we might run into problems, some bugs, where this version is not supported anymore by a certain tool, like such as MongoDB, whatnot. And now you're spending more time with debugging rather than studying, working, and whatnot. So let's try to minimize that. I'm not guaranteeing you that you won't have any bugs, but we can minimize them, and we can spend more time on actual material. So what do we need to do? We need to upgrade this, or technically install a new version of Ubuntu distro. Now you might not even have Ubuntu, you might have Debian or something like that, which it's even more important that we have a specific version of Linux distribution for our WSL. So the first thing we can do is we can ask the Microsoft servers to list us all of the distributions they have online. And we have an output: Ubuntu, Debian, Kali, Linux, all of these Ubuntu versions, 18.04, 20.04, 22.04, 24.04, Oracle Linux, whatnot. So Ubuntu 22.04 is what we're targeting, because this is what we're going to be using with all of our tools, and we want everybody to be on the same page. Now you might notice something here. We have Ubuntu 24.04. You might say, oh, Yuri, you just said we're going to be using the newest version, the newest version that supports our tools. Well, exactly, the newest version which supports our tools. 24.04 came out, I believe, in May or June, and now is getting some traction. However, a lot of the tools that we'll be using, such as MongoDB Compass, well, MongoDB is going to be running on Ubuntu and whatnot, Node and whatnot, PSQL, are still getting support, working on good and complete support for 24.04, which means if you use the latest and the greatest, you might run into problems, or you will for sure run into problems, just like you would be using an older distribution. So 22.04 is kind of like the just right, the Goldilocks zone, what we need to do right now. So what I need to do is install it into our WSL so we can run it. So the command for this is WSL.exe. This is important, .exe, because we're going to be executing installer, --install -d, and we want to point it to a specific version that we want to install. In this case, it's 22.04. Caveat here, as of late, I guess it's now late 2024, if you just point it to Ubuntu, as you have it here, it will install 22.04 as of September, August, September. However, this is subject to change. At some point, with Microsoft with an update, might decide that now 24.04 is the default one, and things will break. So it's always good to install specific versions. Versioning can be a real pain in the neck in the software world. It's always good to install specific versions, what we need. So we're going to be installing 22.04. So this is where literally everything matters, every period, dash, and whatnot. So I'm saying wsl.exe install -d Ubuntu 22.04. Again, administrator mode, very important, and I'm going to press enter. Now for me, it's going to do it, it should do it pretty quickly because I have it cached on my system, meaning I've installed it before, the files are saved somewhere. For you, it will probably show a download progress bar, which should take about 5-10 minutes depending on network connection, and then install. But we'll see what it does for me. Maybe I don't have it cached. I guess we're about to see. Oh, I have it cached. So it's installing from cache, and it might take a few minutes, probably a few seconds, and it should take me to create a username. So this is where I'll create my Ubuntu WSL username, and it will ask me to create a password. This will be your WSL password anytime you want to change settings in it, run super user commands. Don't forget this password. Whatever you type in and whatever you confirm, I don't know, write it down somewhere, put it in a text file, whatnot. Don't forget it, because if you forget it, you have to reinstall, basically. And you might lose, probably will lose information, work that you've been working on. And everything should work successfully and whatnot, and it should launch me into version 22.04 once it finishes this up. So we'll let it think, and now I'm in 22.04, so on and so forth. Good. A little side note though, notice this asterisk here when I did WSL-L-V. This means this is the default version of Ubuntu that's running in WSL. Now I installed 22.04, but what do you think the default is still? I will exit here. Let's clear this up, and I will list the version. Still, it's 18.04. I've installed 22.04, but by default, and again, this will depend on your local settings, but by default, it will remain the last version which was used, not the newest one that you have installed. So we need to set it to the specific version by default that we want to use. So we're gonna go with the command WSL, and I believe it's set default, and we'll point it to the default one we want to launch when we launch WSL. So we'll point it to Ubuntu again, 22.04, and if I press enter, that should, and the keyword here is should, set it to 22.04 as default. And it says operation completed successfully. Always a sanity check. If we run this again, now you see the asterisk is here, 22.04. So when I run WSL, now it will be in 22.04. And that's all there is to it. Now if you have any further questions, make sure to contact UTAs, and make sure to let them know which part you're on, which part of the setup you're on.